This
thousands
conference
of
will now be recorded.
see AWS helps help hundreds of thousands of customers you know migrating their SQL Server workloads to cloud. So SQL Server we have two kinds. One is inside AWS cloud, inside on premises. Okay, and running in the AWS cloud. So this means what organization will do? They are running the SQL server in their office. Okay, so what they do? They used to migrate to SQL server to AWS. You are able to understand?
Yeah.
So since 2008,
Mhm.
okay, so no organization continue to choose AWS for migrating and modernizing SQL Server for best price performance, license flexibility, easy to use, and innovations to manage access and scale their data. So that's why SQL is you can run SQL Server inside AWS, and you can find SQL, you know you can run SQL in variety of ways.
Okay.
So we can say CSP. CSP means cloud service provider. So, and if I say like running SQL in AWS. So what are the ways you can run SQL in AWS? So first one is you can run on Amazon EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. Second one is like you can run in RDS database. You can find, and third one is like you can use Amazon Aurora. It's a database based on SQL. So first one is like SQL Server on Amazon EC2, and you can run in Amazon SQL Server, Amazon RDS database. And next one is Amazon Aurora. Like this, you can run, and like most organization, they migrate their SQL Server to AWS cloud. So in this training, you are going to understand how to migrate the SQL Server from on-premises to AWS cloud, and you are going to understand how to run SQL Server on EC2, how to run SQL Server on Amazon RDS database, and how to run SQL Server on Amazon Aurora.
Okay.
You understand? So now question is like, why SQL Server on AWS? See, AWS is a world-class cloud service provider. So he provides everything, all the service with highly scalable. So the first thing is why organizations are running SQL inside AWS. So I can say like first one is like 68% better performance you will get it from on premises. So here 68%, okay, better performance, and price, that is cost price in AWS. Next one is 45% cost saving. You can save 45% of cost, maintenance cost. on SQL license, because licenses are not free. Next 16 years of experience running SQL Server in cloud. So SQL Server running in AWS for past 16 years
Oh,
with than anyone else. And I can say like AWS named, okay, like a leader in for cloud DBMS. For DBMS for that is ninth consecutive year. And AWS have more than AWS have 2+ millions customers. They use database. That is 2 million plus, like I can say, customers. Okay, use database, analyticals, machine learning, and AI. So that is how, for getting better performance and to get low cost, we are running SQL Server in AWS.
can you explain the line AWS named cloud leader for DBMS ninth year? What does that mean?
See, we have other clouds like Azure and GCP. They also running SQL Server. But
Mm-hmm.
which cloud is best for database? Okay, so that award it is given to AWS for
Oh, okay.
past 9 years. They are achieving this award from from a, we are like a magic quadrant. So
Mm-hmm.
that category that comes for this award.
Okay.
So, and also you can find uh, SQL. SQLs are very important for backend purpose. So you can, most organization they use database for backend purpose, and they used to connect with front end, because as I told, SQL Server have the total cost of ownership. So like AWS SQL servers. So if you're running SQL Server inside AWS, so huge amount of projects are coming under this particular category in the organization. So AWS with SQL. So we have two types of databases available: SQL database and NoSQL database. So this SQL comes under SQL database. So we are having NoSQL database also. Okay, so database means it's a collection of tables and columns and rows. But we have NoSQL database that is called DynamoDB. We have Cassandra, like we are having documents DB. So like no SQL database also coming, but SQL database are still powerful. One is the total cost of ownership. What is meant by this total cost of ownership? So actually, from license to infrastructure, AWS is focused on deriving down our cost for running SQL Server workloads. For example, you are running your organization with, and you are having SQL Server on premises. So you can say, while you bringing your SQL Server inside AWS, as a customer, you save 45% on SQL Server license cost with AWS optimization and license assessment. So with AWS, compute optimizer, use customers save up to 25% on infrastructure through right sizing, and up to 75% on license through SQL Server. Addition, downgrading recommendations. So that is total cost of ownership is very good here. And next we are having flexible license options. See, AWS is not in the business of selling software license. So they are always trying to reduce our license needs by providing flexible license options. So user can either choose to bring our own license, that is called BYOL, to maximize existing investments, or they can pay they can pay as per hour, pay as you go license option to get out of the business of managing license compliances. You're able to understand, right?
Yeah.
And next, agility from SQL modernization to SQL Server. See, AWS has helped many organizations modernize their SQL Server workloads to AWS purpose-built cloud databases, allowing them to break, free from restrictive license terms and fuel innovative data with artificial intelligence.
Mm.
And next one is most performance infrastructure. See, AWS offers most secure, extensive, and reliable global cloud infrastructure for us to run optimized and modernized SQL Server workloads, while you know we'll get superior price performance than and the next largest cloud provider, and broad and deepest capabilities. See, AWS offers over 750 Amazon EC2 instance where compatible service are simply not available from. This is not available in any other cloud provider. So AWS provides the only fully managed service for native Windows file system with Amazon FSx for Windows file server. It's enabling you to simplify management overhead and reduce cost. Amazon, we are having elastic block storage for database, offers 99.999% of availability, 99.999% of durability, and performance block storage for most demanding SQL Server deployments. So this makes like AWS gives very high capabilities of hardware performance for SQL servers to run here, and get scalability and optimize the hardware. And we can able to AWS helps us to migrate the modernized SQL server workloads.
Can you
So I
give me
hope you're.
okay? Yeah. Can you give me a live session on SQL Server with EC2 and Amazon Aurora, like the basic view of how I use it?
Yes, actually, right now I don't have AWS account.
Oh.
uh, I have to get one. See, actually, that we can run the SQL server in two ways. Suppose you're running EC2, okay? So
Mm-hmm.
suppose you're running EC2 server. EC2 servers are built with SQL, like Windows Server 2016 with SQL Server Standard Edition, Data Center Edition, or you can run Windows Server 2019 with SQL Server data center edition. Okay, so this is the this is SQL is attached with Windows Server, and we are having like AWS RDS uh, service. In this RDS service, you will get MySQL, PostgreSQL. You already know like MariaDB, Aurora, or Microsoft SQL and Oracle. Then we have MySQL, PostgreSQL. Then we are having Aurora, or we are having MariaDB. So you can run the database here, and you can connect those database with which one? With EC2.
RDS. Okay.
With the DNS, and you can so here in RDS you will get high level features like um, multi availability zone database support, multi availability zones, and then we are having standby. Then we have having replicas, and you have backups. You can have a backups, so you can able to have disaster recovery. So like this high features you will get it here when you run the database inside RDS
So
and
what
connect with
happens when
EC2.
we connect RDS to EC2?
Nothing happened. We are just we are connecting with RDS VC2, and we have an endpoint, the database endpoint. The database endpoint you have to attach with EC2, and you have to open the ports for
Mhm.
3306 if you are MySQL, and it will be asking username password. Then you are while you create database, you are setting username password, and that username password will authenticate, and then database will be connected with the servers.
To store the
So
data.
and yes, and you can create a table, store everything, just like all standard SQL commands. You can able to execute it. So because RDS provides database management service, but database connection should be done with EC2.
Okay.
So because VPC is coming into action, so EC2 server and RDS database should be running in the same VPC.
Mhm.
So and once you run, then you can easily connect RD database. You can use secrets manager to store the secrets of the database. So you have snapshots, we have images, we have backups, replica style, standby, multi availability zones. Everything is there in RDS. So your database will be consistent, and database have separate hardware, and EC2 servers will get separate hardware. Both will not run in same hardware. So
Mhm.
you can able to create load balancer between your database servers, and you can able to connect them, and you can do load distribution, and you can create three-tier architecture, web architecture, like
Mhm.
three-tier architecture you can create, and you can able to connect database and keep your database securely in the private subnet of the VPC, and you can able to store whatever users browsing there's any web servers, they will get all the entries in database stored. So database have connection with application using ODBC, JDBC, and then this RDS database also can connect with the Redshift, that is called data warehouse. So you can able to store huge amount of tables without worrying about the capacity. So where you can store huge amount of tables here, and you can search very fast. So like that, you have a lot of flexibility when you come to AWS, because AWS is providing open, uh, open access for database fully, fully managed and fully implementation. So when come to the uh, storages, so whatever the storage we are using for EC2, the same storage you are getting for RDS database.
Mhm.
So what storage we are in EC2, that is called EBS storage, elastic block storage, and it has around 16 TB size. The same way you are having, like in EBS, we have different types of storages are there, like EBS storage types. We have then buffer storage, then provisioning, IOPS storage, then throughput optimized called HDD, then magnetic storage. So these storages are designed for the EC2 servers. In this one, for database, this storage will come. That is provision IOPS because it has IOPS. So disk read and write performance will be very good. Right, designed for the database. So because we have IOPS provides read and write performance high. Okay, you understood?
Yeah. Uh, can you explain me a bit about S3 buckets? What are they used for and all?
Yes, S3 is a simple storage service which is object storage, and we have unlimited amount of capacity. So you can use S3 bucket for uploading and downloading. S3 can store structured data, semi-structured, and unstructured data. So they are like,
Mm-hmm.
and S3 is a storage for on-premises as well as we can use inside AWS. We can use outside AWS also.
Okay, so RDS is for structured data and S3 is for unstructured data. Is that right? Or
No, this is
that's a
RDS
database, right?
database is a structural only.
Yeah.
Semi-structure, structure, and unstructured. Unstructured means in S3 you can store any kind of data.
Mm-hmm.
Unstructured, or semi-structured data you can store.
Okay.
You can store, but S3 is not a block storage. S3 is a object storage, and this means you don't have capacity, and you can't install OS applications. You can just upload, download. That's all.
Oh, okay.
So you can store any kind of data. And S3, you are going to store in a bucket, and that bucket is universal access the bucket have, and bucket you can able to connect with on premises as well as in inside AWS EC2 servers, and you can transfer your data from any machine, any on physical machine with which the machine which you have, and you can able to connect S3 via S3 commands, S3 API, and S3 used for many purposes. S3 used for not even for storing huge amount of data. S3 also used for migrations, for analyticals, for database migrations, for server migrations, and also S3 is used for like you can use S3 storage, connect with another AWS account. You can mount S3 bucket inside EC2 servers. So, and S3 storages are like, uh, now whenever you create a bucket, the bucket have versioning, uh, pre-signed URL, multi-port upload, and S3 connects with uh, CDN, content derived network, so that you can, like you have CDN network. So if you have lot of your application is very slow, so you can improve the application latency performance via CDN network, that is called CloudFront, and you can able to connect your application very fast. So like that, S3 is a global storage for AWS, and you can use S3 for uh, to store any kind of data, but capacity is unlimited, and you can able to uh, put your data. And S3 have lifecycle policy, so your data need to be retained for longer term. Means you have lifecycle policy. So lifecycle policy means what? We have a standard policy, standard IEA, one zone IEA, and then we are having intelligent tiering. We are having um Glacier Deep Archive, RRS. So all provides high availability, and S3 connects with archive storage also. Like your data become infrequent, so you can able to put your data in archive for a couple of years. Your data will be in rest format. So whenever you want, you can take your data from archive and bring the data into as a frequent access. So all these features are there. In S3 also we have S3 uh, like S3 transport acceleration, batch operations. S3 have um, like uh, S3 bucket replications. S3 have access control is coarse configuration. Uh, then we have event notifications, static website hostings. So there's a lot of features are there in S3, and S3 have KMS encryptions, so we can encrypt our data securely. So that is the thing.
Okay.
So yes, so once you start training, you will be understanding. Uh, First, you understand AWS infrastructure, then SQL, then how to migrate SQL, how to work with SQL inside RDS, how to work SQL inside EC2 servers, how EC2 servers connect with S3, how RDS database connect with S3, because S3 is a backup. S3 also works as a backup storage for many AWS service, for RDS and for EC2 and for developings and for cloud formation. And S3 works as a backup for logs. So S3 storage used in variety of ways for storing data. Not even user, by default services also use S3 indirectly for
Okay.
backups.
So everything will be like a live session, right? Not the theoretical.
Yes. Mm.
Along with the theoretical, it will be a practical session too, right?
Yes, everything will be practical.
Okay. Great. So how many hours of the session will it be?
Like daily 1 to 1.5 hours.
How much is are you going to charge for this?
Actually, I don't have charges idea. Our coordinator is there. He will give you
Okay.
the details, Mr. Prakash.
Okay. Yeah.
I am trainer, so I'm just technically handling.
Mm. Okay. Okay then.
Okay. So rest
Yeah.
of things you can talk with him, and we start the session by tomorrow onwards if you're okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll let you. Yeah. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Thank you.